Bethesda came down from on high and answered our hype at E3 this year when they announced the existence of the Skyrim Special Edition, which is of course the re-release for PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Now of course many would argue, including myself, that this particular re-release is more sort of targeted towards the Xbox One and PS4 guys, given of course that there's a huge amount of mods available on PC that make the game look arguably either as good or better than the re-release. But regardless of all that, we now have the news that the game has gone gold on all platforms, as well as the minimum and recommended PC specifications for the re-release. As always, let's begin with the minimum specs. Now of course, these are definitely higher than the ones required for the original, but they're pretty light by today's standards. So, it is going to be OS wise 7, 8.1 or 10, no surprise there. CPU wise need to be an Intel i5 750 or an AMD Phenom 2 X4 945, 8 gigs of RAM, 12 gigs of hard drive space, which is pretty light in comparison to the juggernauts of 45 and 50 gigs recently, and the GPU is basically free, GTX 470 with 1 gigs of VRAM or an AMD HD 7870 with 2 gigs of VRAM. With that out of the way, let's move on to the recommended. The OS is naturally the same. However, for the CPU, you will need a i5 2400 or an AMD FX 82320. Again, 8 gigs of RAM, still 12 gigs of hard drive space, but you will need a little bit of an upgrade when it comes to the GPU, but still fairly manageable. The minimum specs for Nvidia are the GTX 780 with 3 gigs of VRAM or the R9 290 with 4 gigs of VRAM. So the highest requirement on this is of course the graphics card, but still mostly moderate. Now of course this is free if you own the original game on Steam, and of course the Legendary Edition or the base game and all the DLCs. You will get the remaster for absolutely free, and of course it's due out on October the 28th, so it's free Legendary Edition or the base game and all DLCs. I'm not sure if you just get it with just the base game, to be honest, I'm not actually sure. But regardless of all that, we also have the install sizes for console gamers, just in case you're watching. I really doubt you are, but you know, I like to share information, so let's just throw this in as a freebie because I'm just a nice person. The PS4 is 20 gigs on North America, 33 gigs in Europe. Don't know why the Europeans are getting ballsed up there, but whatever. On the Xbox One, 17 gigs in North America and 25 gigs in Europe. Apparently Europeans take up more hard drive space. I don't know. I don't understand. Regardless of all that, pretty manageable specs, I would say, but thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.